Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our cozy corner. With the festive season just around the corner, the air is getting crisp, and there's a certain magic brewing. It's the perfect time to snuggle up with a warm drink and drift away into a good story. Tonight, I have a special Christmas tale for you, one that isn't told very often. It's a story of stars, forgotten paths, and the quiet magic that unfolds when the world is blanketed in snow. So, get comfortable, let your shoulders relax, and let's begin our journey into the heart of a winter's night. Our story starts in a tiny, forgotten village, nestled so deep within the northern woods that maps often missed it in time. The village was called Whispers, and its cottages, with their thatched roofs heavy with snow, looked like gingerbread houses dusted with shit. The folk of Whispers was simple and kind, living in harmony with the ancient forest that surrounded them. Every year, as the winter solstice approached, they celebrated with a grand festival of light. But this year was different. A strange, silent gloom had fallen over the forest. The snow fell endlessly, the paths vanished, and a biting wind whispered tales of an unending winter. The village's star lantern, a magical lantern that was lit every year on the longest night to guide the spirit of Christmas to you, had lost its glow. Its once vibrant light was now just a faint, sad flicker, and with it, the village's hope began to dim. In this village lived a young girl named Alara. She wasn't a hero or a princess. She was a girl with eyes the color of the winter sky and a heart full of curiosity. While others huddled by their fire, Ilara would gaze out her frosted window at the great silent forest. She loved its mysteries and didn't fear its shadow. Her grandmother, the oldest resident of Whisperwood, would tell her stories of the starlight glow, a legendary flower that was said to grow only in the heart of the forest, on the highest, most hidden peak. It was said that the flower bloomed just once a century, on the eve of the solstice, and its petals held the purest light of the winter stars. Just a single petal, her grandmother would say, could relight the most faded flame and bring warmth back to the coldest nights. While most villagers dismissed it as an old wives' tale, Elara listened, and a seed of an idea began to grow in her mind. She knew what she had to do. If the spirit of Christmas wouldn't come to them, she would go out to find the light together. The next morning, before the sun had even fallen on the horizon, Alara bundled herself in her warm woolen clothes, packed a small satchel with a piece of bread, a flask of warm tea, and a small unlit candle, and slipped out of her cottage. The world outside was a sea of blue and bright. The snow was so deep it came up to her knees, and each step was a struggle. The silence was profound, broken only by the soft crunch of her boots and the sound of her own steady breathing. She followed a barely bare trail her grandfather had shown her once, a secret hunter's path that wound deep into the ancient woods. The trees, tall and draped in snow, looked like silent white giants watching her. They seemed to lean in, whispering secrets in the wind. But Alara wasn't afraid. She felt a strange sense of belonging, as if the forest itself was an old friend. After what felt like hours, she came across a small clearing. In the center sat a tiny creature, no bigger than her hand, with fur as white as the snow. It had large, dark eyes and long, twitchy fingers. It was a frost bolt, a creature of forest legend, said to be a guardian of the hidden paths. The vole was shivering, one of its tiny paws caught in a thorn. Its squeaks were weak and pitiful. Instead of passing by, Ilara knelt in the snow. Gently, she untangled the thorn. Her fingers nimble despite the cold. The little creature, freed from its trap, looked up at her with its intelligent eyes. It didn't run away. Instead, it gave a little chirp and scurried a few feet ahead, then looked back as if waiting for her. Ilara smiled. It seemed she had found her first guide. She followed the frost bowl, which darted ahead, its white fur a beacon in the dim light, leading her along paths she would have never found on her own. The frost bowl led her through winding gullies and over frozen streams until they reached the base of a steep, rocky hill. The little creature chirped and pointed its nose upwards before disappearing into a crack in the rocks. Ilara was now alone again, faced with a daunting climb. As she began her ascent, the wind picked up, howling and tearing at her clothes. It felt as if the mountain itself was trying to push her back down. Doubt began to creep into her heart. Was this foolish? Was she chasing a child's story? Just as she was about to give up, she heard a soft, rustling sound. Looking up, she saw a magnificent, snowy owl perched on a ledge above her. It had feathers like spun moonlight and eyes that shone like two golden eyes. The owl hooted softly, a reassuring sound that cut through the wave of the wind. Then it spread its vast, silent wings and glided to another ledge, a little higher up. It was showing her the way. With renewed determination, Ilara followed the owl, moving from one secure foothold to the next, her fear replaced by a quiet focus. The owl was her silent guardian, its presence a comforting weight against the storm. Finally, after a climb that tested every ounce of her strength, Ilara reached the summit, and what she saw took her breath away. The peak was a hidden sanctuary, sheltered from the wind by a circle of ancient, ice-covered pines. And there, in the very center, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow, was the starlight blue. It wasn't a flower of earth, but of light. Its petals were crafted from shimmering, crystalline ice, and at its heart pulsed a soft, white light that mirrored the stars in the darkening sky. It was more beautiful than any story could describe. For a moment, Ilara just stood there, mesmerized by its pure, silent beauty. This was the heart of winter, not cold and cruel, but peaceful and full of a quiet, powerful magic. She approached the flower reverently. She remembered her grandmother's words. Just one petal was all that was needed. She gently reached out and touched the tip of one of the icy petals. It didn't break. Instead, it dissolved into a handful of glittering, warm light in her palm, like captured stardust. Carefully, Ilara brought the light to the wick of the small candle she had carried with her. The moment the light touched the wick, the candle burst into a brilliant, steady flame. It wasn't an ordinary flame. It burned with a pure white light that pulsed with warmth and cast no shadow. It felt like holding a tiny star. The journey down the mountain was surprisingly easy. The wind had died down, and the light from her candle illuminated the path before them, turning the snow-covered forest into a wonderland of glittering diamonds. The forest no longer felt menacing. It felt alive and welcome. The trees seemed to bow their snow-laden branches as she passed, and she could almost hear a faint, joyful melody like the distant sound of celestial chimes. The magic of the starlight bloom was already at work, chasing away the gloom. When Alara finally saw the first lights of Whistlewood through the trees, her heart soared. As she stepped into the village square, a gasp went through the small crowd of villagers who were gathered. Their faces etched with worry. They stared not at her, but at the brilliant starlight flame she carried. It was a light unlike anything they had ever seen, warm and full of hope. Alara walked directly to the unlit starlight in the center of the square. She opened its little glass door and touched her candle's flame to the lantern's wick. In an instant, a blindingly beautiful light erupted from the lantern, shooting a beam straight up into the night sky. The light spread through the village, touching every rooftop and window pane, melting the gloom and filling the air with a palpable warmth. The endless snowfall softened into a gentle, sparkling flood, and for the first time in weeks, the clouds parted, revealing a sky full of brilliant, twinkling stars. A great cheer rose from the villagers. Laughter and joyous cries replaced the heavy silence. Doors flew open as people streamed into the square, their faces full of wonder and delight. They lit their own smaller lanterns from the great lantern, and soon the entire village was aglow, a beacon of warmth and happiness in the vast winter wilderness. The festival of light had begun, more vibrant and meaningful than ever before. They weren't just celebrating a tradition. They were celebrating the courage of a young girl and the rediscovery of hope. Alara, standing in the middle of it all, watched as the light she had brought back touched everyone, bringing smiles to their faces and a sparkle to their eyes. She realized the starlight bloom wasn't just a magical flower. It was a symbol of the light that exists even in the darkest of times, and the courage it takes to go out and find it. It's the light we all carry today. Her journey wasn't just about saving Christmas for her village. It was about discovering the strength and magic within her own heart. And so, the legend of Alara and the starlight bloom became a new and beloved Christmas tale in Whistlewood, passed down from generation to generation. It was a reminder that sometimes the greatest gifts aren't found under a tree, but on the challenging paths we dare to walk. It's a reminder that even the smallest person, armed with a little bit of hope and a whole lot of courage, can bring back the light. And as the snow falls softly outside your own window tonight, perhaps you can think of Alara and the magic that waits to be discovered in the quiet heart of winter. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. I hope it brought a little bit of warmth and magic to your day. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales and cozy moments. Until next time, stay warm and keep looking for the light.
I still recall those trembling moments, the way the cold trace my skin, the scent of burning pine. The lanterns glow, and distant sounds that fade within. I'm drifting through the frozen air, with every chill that softly bites. May your soul find peace and shelter as daylight fades and fades the night. I'm walking through the haze of memory, where shadows stretch and embers glow. Each step is slow, the night grows deep, and dreams like quiet rivers flow. Where quiet breaths linger on empty trails, and evening falls with whispered cry. I'm walking through the frosty air, with every snowflake drifting by. May your heart find gentle calmness as daylight fades and stars fill sky. I still remember frozen morns, the way the cold would touch my skin, the scent of burning logs, the soft lamps glow, and distant echoes drawing in. And ever makes your heart behead. I'm walking through the frosty air.
The fire crackles, a lonely song in a quiet house. Outside, the world is hushed by a blanket of white, each snowflake a memory falling softly. Christmas, it used to be so different. The house would be filled with noise, with laughter that echoed off these very walls. Now, the silence is so loud. My reflection in the dark window shows a man I barely recognize. Where did the years go? They slipped away like sand from my fingers. Each grain a precious moment I wish I could hold on to just a little longer. I trace the worn leather cover of this old album. It feels heavy today, heavier than usual. Each page I turn is a ghost of Christmas past. There she is, my Ellen. Her smile could light up the darkest winter night. She's hanging a star on the tree, her eyes sparkling more than any ornament. And the children, little James, with his face smeared with chocolate, so proud of the lopsided gingerbread man he made, and Sarah, her pigtails bouncing as she tore open her presents, her squeals of delight, the best music I've ever heard. We were a family, we were a symphony. Every Christmas was a crescendo of joy. We'd gather round this very fireplace. Eleanor would read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," her voice warm and soothing. James would always fall asleep, his head in my lap, while Sarah listened, wide-eyed, dreaming of reindeer on the roof. The smell of pine and roasting turkey filled the air, a scent so deeply tied to happiness that even now, decades later, it catches in my throat. Here's a photo of us all in matching silly sweaters. Eleanor knitted them herself. I complained about how itchy mine was, but I'd give anything to feel that scratchy wool against my skin again. To hear her laugh and call me a grumpy old bear. In this picture, we're all so young, so blissfully unaware that these moments were finite. You always think there will be more Christmases, more sweaters, more laughter. You never imagine a time when all you have left are the photographs. The pages become more recent. The children are grown. James brought his wife, Maria, for their first Christmas as a married couple. Sarah brought her little boy, my grandson, Leo. He had his mother's eyes. The house was full again, a different kind of noisy, a new generation of laughter. I remember holding Leo on my knee, showing him how to wind up the old music box, the one my father gave me. Its tiny, tinny tune of Silent Night filled the space between our heartbeats. Eleanor watched us, her hand on my shoulder, her smile softer now, but just as bright. Then the pages start to thin now. There are fewer people in the photos. James and his family moved across the country. Work, he said. We'd video call on Christmas morning, but it wasn't the same. You can't hug a screen. You can't smell the cookies your daughter-in-law baked through a speaker. Then, the hardest page to turn. The last photo of Eleanor. She's sitting in this very chair, a blanket over her lap, the tree lights twinkling in her tired eyes. She was frail, but her spirit was still so strong. She held my hand and told me, "You have to keep the light on, Arthur, for all of us." I closed the album. The finality of the sound echoes in the empty room. It's just me now. The kids call, of course. They send cards and thoughtful gifts, but life pulls them in 1,000 different directions. Flights get cancelled, work gets in the way, Their own families need them. I understand. I truly do. But understanding doesn't make the quiet any less deafening. It doesn't make the house feel any less vast. The snow is falling thicker now, a curtain between me and the world. I watch a single flake land on the glass, a perfect, fleeting star, and then it's gone, just like everything else. A warmth streaks down my cheek, and I don't bother to wipe it away. It's a river of memories, of love and loss, all mingling in a single drop. It's strange, isn't it? How a heart can feel so full and so empty at the same time. The ghosts of laughter are here, but they're just echoes. I can almost smell the pine, but it's just a phantom scent. I promised her I'd keep the light on, but some days the darkness feels so heavy. What's this? On the little table beside my chair, a small box wrapped in cheerful red paper with a silver bow. I don't remember putting it there. It wasn't there this morning. A small tag is tucked under the ribbon. To Arthur, from your neighbor, Mrs. Gaber. Mrs. Gaber, the kind woman from 2 doors down. We only ever exchange pleasantries when I get the mail. I didn't think she even really knew my name. I pick it up. It's light. The paper crinkles under my old, trembling fingers. It's not about what's inside. It's the fact that it's here. It's a little flicker of light in the dim room. Connection. A simple act of kindness from a world I thought had forgotten me. Maybe Eleanor was right. You just have to keep the light on. And sometimes, if you're lucky, someone else will see it and light a candle of their own for you. A small, sad smile finds its way to my lips. It's not the joyous grin from the old photographs. It's something different. It's quieter, but it's a start. Maybe this Christmas won't be so silent after all. Maybe there's still a little bit of music left to be played. If you ever feel alone, especially during the holidays, please know you're not invisible. Reach out to a friend, a family member, or a neighbor. Sometimes the smallest connection can make the biggest difference. If you need someone to talk to, there are helplines and resources available. You matter. Take care, and thank you for watching.
Gentle silence as daylight fades to endless night. I'm walking through the mist of memory, where shadows stretch and embers low. Each step is slow, the night grows deep, and dreams like quiet rivers flow. biting frost, with whispered winds and pale cold skies, where fragile breaths linger along frozen trails, and evening falls with trembling sighs. I'm drifting through the biting frost, with every snowflake soft and light. May your soul find quiet comfort as daylight fades and claims the night. I still remember frozen moments, the way the cold would touch my skin, the scent of winter pine, the gentle fire's glow, and distant echoes carry them. I'm drifting through the biting frost, with every snowflake soft and light. May your soul find quiet comfort as daylight fades and claims the night. I'm walking through the chill of time, where shadows stretch and embers die. Each step is slow, the night grows sharp, and dreams flow quiet, soft and sharp. I'm drifting through the biting chill, with piercing gust and cloudy veils, where whispered breaths hang low along the empty roads, and evening falls with frozen trails. I'm drifting through the biting chill, with every breeze that cuts and flies. May your soul find warmth in stillness as daylight fades and darkness sighs. I my skin. The scent of smoky pine, the lantern's gentle shine, and distant songs the night will spin. I'm drifting through the biting chill, with every breeze that cuts and flies. May your soul find warmth in stillness as daylight fades and darkness sighs. Where shadows stretch and embers glow, each step is slow, the night turns sharp, and